こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we are learning Japanese. If you have any questions, then please feel free to stop me and ask me at any time. I'm going to continue with Immersion with Card Captor Sakura.
ぬいぐるみを集める苦労カード？そんなけったいなカードなんかあるかい。関係ないんとちゃうか。なカードなんかあるかい。関係。
See, 関係ないとちゃうか。I think this child may have something to do with EU and TOEU. Let's see. Kanke. Kanke nai. Unrelated, irrelevant, unconcerned. Expression, phrases. Yeah, I thought that was a separate word. Yeah, Kanke, relationship, connection, influence, effect. Okay, so Kanke nai means no relation, in other words, irrelevant. So, Kanke nai to chau ka. See, to, okay. In standard Japanese, this particle would follow the normalized clause to introduce the question, like no to chigao. However, in many dialects, especially Kansai, the to is often dropped or merged into rapid speech, or structure shifts entirely. Chao. This is Kansai equivalent of the standard chigao. As if they didn't have enough things using Chao in Kansai. Let's see. Well, not constant. That's right. Chao would be standard Japanese contraction, but yeah, okay. So chigao becomes chao in Kansai Bend, and that's how it's being used here. So in standard Tokyo dialect equivalent, kanken inain janai ka. So kankenai irrelevant plus normalizer. Plus janai is not, so not relevant. Okay. Let's see. In Kansai dialect, chao is wait. Instead of Tokyo, it would be kankenain janain ka. So would that be? Is it relevant as a Is it not relevant as a translation? Since questions are generally asked in negative. Let's see. In Kansai dialect, it's kankenai. Oh, normalizer. Chao is different. Wrong. Right. is the same no used in making sentences sound logical in Japanese? The normalizer no. Yes, it was both functions. In Japanese grammar, no is versatile particle that acts as a normalizer, turning verbs and adjectives into nouns, and is the logical or explanatory marker, often referred to as explanatory no or assertive no. Okay. How to tell them. Okay, so that. Okay, so that is okay. And so, while they are the same particle, the grammatical role changes based on what follows them, where they appear in the sentence. The normalizer no creates the noun, while the logical no modifies the tone intent of the statement. Okay. So, in concept dialect, chalo is frequently used to express negation or correction, similar to how janai is used in standard Japanese. Therefore, kanke naito, child card literally translates to, isn't it the case that it's irrelevant? So, with it being irrelevant, isn't it, let's see, isn't it the case that it's irrelevant, or shouldn't you say it's irrelevant? Let's see, they say this is related to the word chigao, which means to differ or to be wrong. So isn't it the case that it's doesn't it differ and that it's irrelevant? Okay. This is distinctly concept, and a speaker from Tokyo would more likely say kanke nai janain or kanke nai nai desho. Nuance. It is used to correct someone's assumption or emphasis that a particular topic is not relevant to the correct situation. It carries a slightly assertive or corrective tone. Oh, okay. I think he's talking about how the taking of the cards is probably not relevant. It's probably something else entirely. I think he's saying that it couldn't be a cloud card doing that. But I mean, the taking of the stuffed animals. But let's see. Okay, so that would be anke nain dewa nai, or okay. Okay, so in standard Japanese, they don't even use the to particle. They just say kanken nai dewa nai. So irrelevant. Is it not irrelevant? Or in AK, as you say in English, is it irrelevant? While in Kansai, you say, uh, let's see, with it being irrelevant, oh, if to differ, but it's basically the equivalent of, let's see, this translator likes to say it as, isn't that irrelevant? So let's see. With it being relevant, it differs. So basically, isn't that irrelevant? So it isn't that. Doesn't this differ? Hmm. Anyway, so 関係ないんとちゃうか?
ぬいぐるみを集めるクローカード？そんなけったいなカードなんかあるかい？関係ないんとちゃうか？確かめてよケロちゃん。クローカー
Okay, so
関係ないんとちゃうか？確かめ
see, 確かめてよ、クラウちゃん。Oh, sorry, ケロちゃん。確かめてよ、ケロちゃん。see, 確か、確かめる to make sure, to check, to ascertain. Remember correctly, 確か was something by itself. Sure, certain. Keiyo, doshi, or not adjective. Or used as a fukushi or adverb. It is, if I'm not mistaken. Tasukameru, to make sure. Okay. Tasukemete. Tasukemete yo Kiro-chan, or we need to make sure Kiro-chan.
なカードなんかあるかい？関係ないんとちゃうか？確かめてよケロちゃん。クローカードの気配がわかるんでしょ？ケロちゃん、クローカー
クラウカードの
ドの
気配がわかるんでしょう。気配 indication, sign, hint, sensation, feeling. So, クラウカードの気配がわかるんでしょう。So let's see. わかる is often used to know, but わかるんでしょう。So, suggestive since let's see. Should know of a sign of a cloud card? And then question tone not seeing there. So shouldn't you know of a sign of a cloud card, I guess? That's what it translates it to. Okay. you can't sense the presence of a cloud card, right? So, クラウドカードの気配がわかるんでしょう? Or can you sense a cloud card? Or let's see, you can,
なカードなんかあるかい。関係ないんとちゃうか。確かめてよケロちゃん。クローカードの気配がわかるんでしょ。まあケースバイケースやけどな。そんな決体関係ないんとちゃうか。確かめてよケロちゃん。クローカードの気配がわかるんでしょ。まあケースバイケース。
okay. ケース by ケース。いや、けどな、let's see. Well, case by case, but case by case. ケルベルス。
クローカードの気配がわかるんでしょ。まあケースバイケースやけどな。もしカードが原因なら私にも何とかできると思うの。私にも何とかできると思うの。ケースバイケースやけどな。もしか
もしカードが
カードが原因なら
原因なら
私にも何とかできると思うの。もしカード
もし if in case supposing もしカードが、gaining cause origin source gaining so もしカード okay もしカードが gaining なら it's another if word let's see in the case of 私にもなんとか something something somehow let's see so 私にも I am also somehow able to I think so もしカードが gaining なら私にもなんとかできると思うの I think she's saying, I think I'm also able to. I think she's trying to say I think I'm also able to tell if it's if it could be a cloud card. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, not that. So if it's caused by a cloud card, I think I can do something about it. If it's caused by a cloud card, watashi, okay, let's see. Moshi karu ga geinin nara watashi ni mo nanto. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dekiru's able to. Yeah, that nanto is something somehow. Okay, so able to something, aka able to do something. And I think this ni and Nemo might be the source ni. So being doing something is coming from her. Let's see. Explain the grammar of nantoka. Adverbial usage. This is the most common usage, indicating that an action was completed or will be completed through effort, even if the method is not yet clear. It often implies resilience and determination. Example. Yeah, shiken ni nantoka kokaku shita, or I somehow passed the exam. It's a kokaku passing. And okay. Okay, so see that was after that's adverbially noun pronoun usage when written in kana nantoka or kanji nan. That's the right. It can refer to an unspecified object, person, or matter. Nantoka shitai. I want to do something about it. Let's see. Nantoka-san, so and so. Mr. So and so. Okay. Common grammar patterns. Nantoka suru, to manage, to handle, or to fix a situation. This usage is often used in urgent or difficult contexts where one commits to resolving an issue even without knowing exactly how. Nuance, it carries a strong sense of personal responsibility and determination. Let's see. Nantoka. Okay, the nantoka shite, the te form, okay. Comparison. Donika. Or, okay, that's going into another subject. The nantoka implies that the outcome is uncertain, but the speaker is optimistic or determined that it will work out. Okay, so here, where in this sentence is nantoka? It's basically in a place where it could be used adverbially. So dekiru, to be able to. So in some way able to, since it's being an adverb describing a verb. somehow able to. So, もしカードが原因なら、私にもなんとかできると思うの. Or if it is being caused by a card, I'm sure there is something I can do about it.
気配がわかるんでしょ。まあケースバイケースやけどな。もしカードが原因なら私にもなんとかできると思うの。ケロちゃんお願い。カードが原因なら私にもなんとかできると思うの。
Kero-chan onegai or Kero-chan please. Though negai is actually more literally wish, but that's how that you say please in Japanese. You basically use the word for wish.
ちゃんお願い。しゃあないな。ほな一緒に行こうか。思うの。ケロちゃんお願い。しゃあない。
しゃあないな。ほな一緒に行こうか。See, hona, I believe that's like well. Isho ni togetherness, and so shall we go together? Well, shall we go together? And then Jan Shanai. What is Shanai? It can't be helped expression. So it goes. Siesta la vie. Let's have it that expression explained. Explain the grammar of this. It's a casual, regional flavored Japanese expression combining standard grammar with elements of Kansai dialect. It's spoken in Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe. Okay, so Shanai, origin Kansai dialect. Okay, so they say it comes from this word. There's no other way. Keiyoshi, which comes from this. Way method. But that whole phrase is considered its own Keiyoshi. Interesting. So no way, in other words, no other way. Oh, okay. Oh, actually, it's from Shikata Ganai. But in Kansai Ben, you say, instead of Shikata Ganai, you say Shanai. This reflects the common phonetic shift in Kansai Ben where she becomes sha, and ga is often dropped. So, Shanai, okay. A sentence ending particle used to emphasize or mild assertion. Adds a contemplative or resigned tone. AKA, that when you sometimes read that knob means when you're targeting it to yourself. Basically, hence having a contemplative meaning. So Shanai na Hona isho ni iko. Yeah, let's see, that's right. Hona. A contraction of Kansai dialect contraction of sore nada or dewa meaning then, well then. Well, in that case, okay, that's right. So sore nada would be nada's the if words, and sore is that. So if that, or in other words, how you just sum up everything with sore and then say if everything that was just talked about, aka the meanings of well then, and in that case. So hona means same as sore nada or dewa, because dewa can also be used to sum up as well. Shanai na hona isho ni ikou ka? Well, it can't be helped. If that's the case, let's go together. Or shall we go together?
私にもなんとかできると思うの。
Oh, well, it's actually probably more of shall we go then? But
ケロちゃんお願い。しゃあないな。ほな一緒に行こうか。マキさん、この前の紅茶とても美味しかったですわ。
so Maki-san, この前の
ほな一緒に行こうか。マキさん、この前の紅茶とて
紅茶。Maki-san, この前紅茶とても美味しかったですわ。So, とても美味しかった is that was very delicious. So この前の紅茶 oh, kocho is I thought I recognized that kanji. That's one's used in tea, and if I remember correctly, kocho usually refers to brown tea. Or black tea. Okay, that's right, it's black tea, yeah, okay. So, Maki-san, konomae, so earlier, konomae no kocho, so the earlier tea was extremely delicious. Totemo.
ほな一緒に行こうか。マキさん、この前の紅茶とても美味しかったですわ。私、ぜひ紅茶の入れ方を教えていただきたくて。ぜひこの前の紅茶とても美味しかったですわ。私、ぜひ紅茶の入れ方とても美味しかったですわ。私、
Or she says atashi.
ぜひ紅茶の入れ方
Zehi, kocha no
と教えていただきたくて。前の紅茶とても美味しかったですわ。私、ぜひ紅茶の入れ方を
さ入れ方
教えていただきたくて。
教えていたいたいて Oshiete ita dakitakute. Something about teaching her how to make the tea, I'm guessing. Let's see. Zehi, certainly without fail, right? Okay. Watashi, Zehi, ano kocho no ire kata o oshiete, basically to teach, and then itadaki, which comes from itadaku, which is to receive, and then itadaki gets, okay, so itadaku gets conjugated into itadaki tai, so saying I want to receive, and then to put it in connective form, it's itadaki takute, where you drop off the e sound or the I at the end and add kute. So in other words, so I without fail want to receive. Has trouble translating this. But let's see, that's enter and then that's this side. Those kanjis at least. Ide kata, method of making, just putting in. This is a compound noun formed by ide from ide to put in, to insert, and then kata, method or way. Thus it means to brew, to make. I think I remember seeing this before. When they say making tea, they're talking about putting in, because since you put in a tea bag. So kocho no irekata is basically making tea, or putting in the tea, essentially. Putting in this direction, or aka to brew, to make. Irekata. See. Watashi wa zehi kocho no irekata o oishite itadaki takute. And I suspect the sentence continues there, and that's the reason why it's in connective form. Interesting. It didn't continue from there. So why was she using the connective form? Unless she's trying to be commanding form, as if like trying to be super excited, like about wanting to learn how to make this tea, that she uses commanding form. Is that a thing? Okay, the sentence ends with kute, which is te form of the adjective tai. In Japanese, the te form is the connective clause's correct use. This phrase typically followed by another clause explaining the result or the next step. Summary, I mean, I would really like to have you teach me the way of making black tea. So, it is polite, humble request structure. The speaker is expressing their desire to receive instructions, but because it ends with the te form, kute, it implies I want to ask her to teach me, and here's why, or here's what I did next. Okay, so it's not a complete question or statement on its own. Okay. Okay, so it's not trying to be commanding at all. So it's sort of like what we see with kara at the end of sentences, or she at the end of sentences, where we're stating the first part, but the second part is implied because you don't have to explain to someone why you really want to know how to make black tea. It's kind of obvious. And that's what she does there. She says, I really want to know how to make black tea, but doesn't explain why she wants to know or what it will lead to.
しゃあないな。ほな一緒に行こうか。マキさん、この前の紅茶とても美味しかったで。
Crimson deep red, okay.
ですわ。私、ぜひあの紅茶の入れ方を教えていただきたくて。ええ、いいわよ。
Let's see, iwayo. So yes, good. Interesting. Sure, that's fine. Okay, okay, so good as in, yeah, that's fine, and then yes, or sure. Iwayo.
とても美味しかったですわ。私、ぜひあの紅茶の入れ方を教えていただきたくて。ええ、いいわよ。よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。ええ、いいわよ。よし、教えていただきたくて。ええ、いいわよ。
Did you see that wink of Tomoyo-chan?
よっしゃ、うまいこと教えていただきたくて。ええ、いいわよ。よっしゃ。
Yeah, Yosha. Umai koto ita de. Yosha or yes, as in we did it kind of thing. Umai koto ita de. Gotcha, alrighty, okay, so umai koto. Successfully, nicely, skillfully. Oh, that's right, umai is skillful, that's right. Skillful, delicious, tasty. If you remember, and Demon Slayer Mugen Train, if I remember correctly, the Fire Hasha was shouting umai after every bowl of food he was eating because it was so delicious. So delicious thing. So yosha, umai koto, well, skillful thing in this case, but because if you think about it, someone's skillful at making food, hence the food is delicious. So skillful thing, eat, let's see. Let's eat. Okay, so they're saying this is the ita from EU. Ichidan, yeah. To be needed. To roast. Okay. So, alright, that went well. Let's see. Learn the grammar of that. I want to make sure I know which word that ita is coming from, since some things have similar conjugations. The past tense of the verb EU. So it's said or what was said. De casual conversation sentence in particle in many dialects, especially Kansai. And when casual speech da is replaced by de, it adds a tone of casual explanation. Yosh, umai koto ita de.
私ぜひあの紅茶の入れ方を教えていただきたくて。ええ、いいわよ。よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。で、カードを探す。
Kaardo o sagasu wa yo Kiro-chan. We can search for the card, Kiro-chan. Kaardo sagasu wa yo Kiro-chan.
いいわよ。よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。まん丸いパンダが怪しいの。うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。
Doa ga I guess door ga aku oto, basically door opening sound. Or would this be door ga hiraku oto? I'm guessing it would be hiraku, but I've sometimes seen aku. Is this aku or hiraku? It is read as aku. Here's why. Aku and hiraku are both valid readings for the kanji when it means to open. However, aku specifically an intransitive verb meaning to become open or to open by itself. Dorga aku is a subject marked by ga performing the action of opening on its own. The structure matches perfectly the intransitive verb aku. while hiraku can also be intransitive. Aku is more common and neutral choice for simple physical action like a door swinging open. That's interesting. I always heard that if it's something slides open, you use aku, and if it swings open, you use hiraku.
教えていただきたくて。
ええ、いいわよ。
よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。まん丸いパンダが怪しいの。パンダを見つけたらええんやな。よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。
Manmori panda ga
丸いパンダが怪しいの。
Yashino. Manmarui. Perfectly round, perfectly circular. Let's see, this comes from Marui, round, circular. And then being full man. Okay, perfect. Dead center. Right, okay, so perfect plus circular makes perfectly circular. So Manmori panda ga ayashi? No. Ayashi, suspicious, dubious, questionable, dodgy, shady, fishy. So the perfectly round panda is suspicious. Man marui, okay. Man marui panda ga ayashi no?
よっしゃ、うまいこと言ったで。カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。まん丸いパンダが怪しいの。パンダを見つけたらええんやな。
Pando meets see Pando meets Ketara I Inyana. So other side it's too fine, but I believe this is meets Keru is in the transitive sense, hence why I attach the object panda. So meets Ketara, so when we find the panda, because that's the conditional. Inyana, so it'll be good when we find the panda. Let's see how close that was. If I find a panda, that's fine, right? No, I think it's supposed to be, it'll be good if we find the panda.
De, カードを探すわよ、ケロちゃん。まん丸いパンダが怪しいの。パンダを見つけたらええんやな。昼間はここにあったのに。
Inamo wa koko ni atta no ni. Oh, Hiroma, okay. Daytime, during the day, from sunrise until sunset. So, Hiroma wa koko ni atta no ni. Okay, so in other words, during the day, it existed here. Or in other words, it was right here during the daytime. And she's using no ni because she's implying that of contrast to the fact during the day it was here, but as you can see right now, the panda isn't here anymore. So, and then is just the interjection of like what? So okay, and if you're wondering, this is from hiru, which is daytime, noon, used in words like lunch. Yeah. Chushoku. Okay, that's a more formal way of saying it. Yeah. Ohiru. Lunch. Yeah, Hiru Gohan. That's what I was thinking. Hiru Gohan. And then this ma is basically the time period or for interval of space. So hiruma. So hiruma wa koko ni atta no ni.
を見つけたらええんやな。昼間はここにあったのに。あんたべっぴんさんやないか。昼間はここにあったのに。あんたべっ
あなた、ペピンさん、じゃないか。ペピンさん。Beautiful woman, pretty girl, Pepin. See, high quality goods, special article. Okay, Pepin's. Usually written in Kansai dialect, okay. Let's see. See, Kanojo wa Taishita Pepin das ze. She is a regular beauty. Pepin. Then Yanai is... Oh. Is not, am not, are not. Isn't it? Kansai dialect equivalent to Janai, which Janai is just Dewanai. Oh yeah, so this is basically asking the question, like, in the negative. So instead of saying existing as a beautiful woman in a question tone, he's saying, "Are you not a beautiful beautiful woman?" As they often ask in the negative tone in Japanese. So okay, so あなたペッピンさんじゃないか。
昼間はここにあったのに。あんたべっぴんさんやないか。何やってんのよ。
何やってんのよ? And then, okay, so Nani what? Yate, which is from Yadu, to do. So in other words, what are you doing? And she's asking in the she has that that's interesting. Why do you have both and no on it? Maybe the no's the normalizer and the is to find the grammar of this. See, yaten no yo. This is a highly casual contraction of nan o yate iru no desu ka? So yate no, okay, it's a contraction of yate iru, which is the present continuous of yaru, okay? The sequence yateiru contracts to yateru, and in very casual speech, the ru is often dropped or softened to resulting in yaten. The no acts as a normalizer or question marks, softening the question but retaining the interrogative nature in casual speech. Yo, a sentencing particle used to add emphasis, assert information, or call attention. In contrast, it adds a tone of surprise, confusion, or mild reprimand. So, nan yaten no yo.
昼間はここにあったのに。あんたべっぴんさんやないか。何やってんのよ。
I was just saying nani, okay. So.
を少し冷ますのが。
昼間はここにあったのに。あんたべっぴんさんやないか。何やってんのよ。
一度沸騰させたお湯を少し冷ますのがコツね。
そうなんだ。
一度沸騰させたお湯を少し
さやないか。何やってんのよ。
一度
一度
沸騰させたお湯を
沸騰させた
少し冷ますのがコツね。
Okay.
一度沸騰
何やってんのよ。
一度沸
一度沸騰させて So 沸騰 boiling, seething, becoming heated. E.g. a debate, now this agitation, fermentation, soaring prices, shooting up. So, futo, and then, so sasate is from, let's see, saseru is from suru, so to cause. So, cause to boil, okay. Ichido futo saseta. First you caused it to boil, okay, then oyu. actually this kanji comes from seethe, boil, ferment, and then leaping up, jumping up, rising. I see, so basically meaning of heat and leaping up, which is what water does when it's boiling, essentially. Futo. So. Oyu, hot water, hot bath. Okay. Oyu o skoshi. So a little, okay, then samasu. To okay, that's right. So this part is basically acting as a descriptor that goes into this. So in other words, uh, let's see, you cause to boil the hot water. So you cause the hot water to boil, and what about that? So so we're talking about the hot water you cause to boil, and as for the hot water you cause to boil, a little bit of that is to cool from a high temperature to dampen samasu. To throw a damper on or to cool, okay. So a little of the hot water you caused to boil needs to cool, and then kotsu, knack, skill, trick, secret. The trick is to let the water cool down a little after it comes to boil. If I get rid of the ichido, it becomes, the trick is to let the boiling water cool down a little. But if I put it back in, it says the trick is to let the water cool down a little after it comes to boil. Ichido once okay. Once, one time, on one occasion. Okay, so that's part, and it's used adverbially. Okay, I see where they're getting that from. So, ichido, futo, ichido, futo saseta, oyu. So, ichido, futo saseta oyu o skoshi samasu. I have to cool down. Okay, samasu no ga kotsu. Knack trick, okay. Let's see. Futo, okay, so ichido, futo, sashita, oyu o skoshi. samusu. To cool. Okay, samusu. I think I've seen that kanji used elsewhere. Sumetai, cold to the touch. That's probably where it was. Hieru to groku, sumetai, cold to the touch. Samasu. Ichido futo saseta OU, okay. So ichido futo sasete OU o skoshi samasu no ga kotsu ne.
何やってんのよ。
一度沸騰させたお湯を少し冷ますのがコツね。
そうなんですか。
一度沸騰させたお湯を少し冷ますのがコツね。
So nan desu ka? Is that so? Non is the informational n or no or non that you see in sentences. So nan desu ka?
なんですか。
さあ、お店に戻らなきゃ。一度沸騰させたお湯を少し冷ますのがコツね。
そうなんですか。
さあ、お店に戻らなきゃ。So no, modoru, that's what it was. Modoru, so modora na kya. Okay, so modora na kya is short for modora. Yeah, modora na kereba, which is understood to also be modora na kereba ikemasen. So in other words, I must return. So sa omise ni modora na kya. So well, I must return to the shop.
Ichido 沸騰させたお湯を少し冷ますのがコツね。
そうなんですか。
さあ、お店に戻らなきゃ。
マキさん、スリランカって昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、スリランカ。
さあ、お店に戻らなきゃ。
Maki-san, or what?
マキさん、スリランカ。
スリランカってで
昔はセイロン
と
と呼ばれていて、マキさん、スリランカって昔はセイロンと呼ばれて
スリランカ。I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. Mukashi Seidon. Yeah, oh, Yobu to call out. So, Yobarete, which is from Yobareru, or to receive calling, and then Yobarete connected form, so it can be used with Iru, but in this case, Iru is also in connected form. So Yobarete ite. So in the middle of receiving calling, Sri Lanka used to be called Ceylon. Okay. Explain the grammar of. Is this really what this is supposed to be talking about? Sri Lanka. Okay. Casual quotation. Colloquial particle used to quote, topicalize the preceding noun. Okay. A noun meaning old times or formerly. Then Ceylon, the noun Ceylon, the former name of Sri Lanka. To quotation particle. See, the ending et suggests sentences incomplete, likely leading into a reason or additional context. So, Sri Lanka. So, Sri Lanka って昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、
マキさん、スリランカって昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、そこで取れたのがセイロンティーなんですってね。
そこで、
スリランカって昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、そこで取れたのがセイ
そこで、so accordingly, now then, thereupon, I guess meanings more along the lines of from that moment of time, so accordingly, or now, そこで、取れた, to be collected of clams, right? To be gathered, to be picked. So, 取れる, 取れたのが, so it's normalized, so we're using being picked as the subject, and then Ceylon tea, Ceylon tea, or Ceylon tea, nan des ne. So let's see. So as for picking, So from that, as for picking, Seidan T. So to sail. I hear that Sri Lanka used to be called Ceylon, and that and that's where Ceylon tea comes from. Now, what's the purpose of this sute on the end of it? Oh, it is sad. Oh, that's why they have I hear on the front of the translation. I hear that the sute means it is sad. Okay, I see. So, since it's being Seidan kate mukashi wa Seidan to yobarete ite, soko de toreta no ga Seidan tea nan deste ne. What? So I hear Sri Lanka used to be called Ceylon, and that's where Ceylon tea comes from. So toreru, so toreta. Intransitive, collected, okay. Soko de toreta no ga Seidan tea nan deste ne.
昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、そこで取れたのがセイロンティーなんですってね。
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったのね。
Huh? Seidan te, let's see, called, so as for Seidan,
私全然知
Kunino,
取れたのがセイロンティーなんですってね。
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったの。
Kunino namae datta no. Seidan's country no name. So that was Seidan's country name.
スリランカって昔はセイロンと呼ばれていて、そこで取れたのがセイロンティーなんですってね。
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
胃の調子を整える効果があるそうね。
Notice, I think she also said Atashi here.
セイロンって国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
Watashi zenzen shira nakata wa. So it's from shiru, to know. But shira nai, not know. And then past tense shira nakata, didn't know. So zenzen means sort of like all completely, but it can only be used in negative contexts. So in other words, I didn't know at all. Wholly entirely, but wholly and entirely not something. So not knowing at all. Okay. So watashi wa zenzen shiranakatta wa.
がセイロンティーなんですってね。
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。
だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
それに
ミルクティーは so from that, I think it's like more like from that, or with that, or okay, besides, in addition, moreover. Yeah, with that, so moreover also, それに、okay, ミルクティーは、so milk teas.
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。そこで取れたのがセイロンティーなんですってね。
へえ、セイロンって国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整
something, I know, 調子を、
える効果があるそうですわ。
知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは胃の調子を
Oh, that is just E, okay, so E, that's a stomach, so E no choshi, tune, condition, state of health, so stomach health, okay, so E no choshi, or, toto no eru, to put in order, to arrange, to tidy up, to fix, transitive, E no choshi, toto no eru, koka, effectiveness, okay, efficacy, result, so stomach condition, fixing stomach condition effectiveness, let's see, aruso des, okay, so it exists, and then so, I think that's supposed to give the connotation like I hear it helps with your stomach health. Oh, let's see. I hear it helps regulate your digestion. I hear it helps regulate your stomach.
Besides, 知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは
I hear milk tea helps settle your stomach. Well, that's basically all means sort of the same thing, I guess. So, sort of neat, meaty. That's basically like fixes stomach health is what it looks like it's literally saying. それにミルクティーは、胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。That's right. That's so in there. What happens if I delete that so? Yes, as I thought, and I hear. So using ho for hearsay, okay. Yes. Is this the hearsay? So let's see. How is this different from other hearsay words? Let's see. So des, neutral informative, it simply relays information you've heard often with a slight sense of urgency or importance. Rashi, based on evidence removes from multiple sources, it suggests the information is less certain and more ambiguous, often implies it seems to be the case. Okay, so is a little more well supported than the Rashi hearsay word. So れはミルクティーは胃の調子をのの整える okay 胃の調子を整える効果 okay 効果胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。
って国の名前だったのね。私全然知らなかったわ。
それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。それにミルクティーは胃の調子を整える効果があるそうですわ。静かにせんとバレてまうで。
静かにせんとバレてまうで。静か is quiet. 静かに is quietly. Let's see. バレる to leak out of a secret, to come out, to be exposed, to get away of a fish. バレる and then could this be バレてimau from imas? Let's see. Explain the grammar of Sento, a dialect or archaic contraction of Shinaito. Oh, okay. So So sudo shinai, which is sudo negative, so to do. So shinai, not doing quietly. Sento, okay. The shi ren-yoke continuative stems of sudo to do, okay. The sen, a negative auxiliary contraction. In standard Japanese, the negative sudo is shinai. In Kansai dialect, in Old Japanese, this is often contracted to sen or senu. To, the conditional particle. Okay, so that is a to in there. Beretu de. This part describes a consequence. You'll be found out or called berete, te form of or barete, okay, barete, te form of bareru, which comes to mean to be found out, to be exposed, to get caught. Bareru is often considered a passive or intransitive form of minuku, to see through, to see into someone's. Intransitive. Okay. Wow. This was Minuku transitive, okay. What did they say about this Mao? Mao de, a dialect contraction of, which comes from Mao plus de. Mao, a Kansai dialect verb meaning to do, to go, often used to indicate unintended or inevitable actions. In contraction, let's see, in contraction mo, already or related to Mao, Mao's to do, to go in Kansai. In this context, it functions similar to shimao, which indicates that an action is completed or often with a nuance of regret or inevitability. So Mao, Kansai dialect for meaning to do, to go, often used to indicate unintended or inevitable actions, and it is a contraction of mo, which is already in standard Japanese, and related to Mao, to do, to go in Kansai. In this context, it functions similarly to shimao. So, okay, so this to is like the question to. So this shizuka ni sento is like if you're not quiet. or if you're not quietly, however you want to see it, or if you're not with quietness, then you're going to be end up being found out with this ma being like the end up of Shimau. And what's going to end up happening, it's the bareru or barete to come out. So Shizuka ni sento so is sento the same as hinaito, while then it's the same as hinai. Sento is the colloquial and dialect equivalent of shinaito. Sen is a contraction derived from the classical auxiliary senu, which corresponds to the modern shinai. Senu was the original way to say shinai. Yes, senu is a classical Japanese form that is a direct historical predecessor of the modern shinai. In classical Japanese, the standard negative suru was senu. This formed the irrealist form, of the verb su. For the classical form suru, which is se, adding the classical negative auxiliary nu. The modern shinai evolved from this. The se gradually shifted to shi, and the classical nu was replaced by nai, which was more prevalent in the eastern Kanto Tokyo dialects. Tashikani sento barete mau de. Yeah, that's right. Why did I say Tashika? Tashika. Sure, certain, yeah. So, Shizuka ni sento barete mau de.
静かにせんとバレてまうで。黒カードの気配や。静かにせんとバレてまうで。
黒カードの
黒カードの気配や。
気配。
まうで。
黒カードの気配や。気配 is indication sign. So there's an indication of a cloud card. So cloud card no kihai ya.
どこ？この下や。黒カードの気配や。どこ？この下や。カードの気配や。
Doko, where? konoshita the below, or in other words, below the table, or just below you in general. Konoshita
まうで。黒カードの気配や。どこ？この下や。
Skamaeta. So that's from skamaru, or to catch, but this is then put into the potential form skamaeru, and then put into the past form skamaeta. In other words, I was able to catch you. Skamaeta. So
逃げよった。この下や。捕まえた。あかん、逃げよった。
akan nigeyota, which akan, which is they're used in place of dame or bad. Okay, so okay, nigeyota. So nigeru, which in the suggestive tense nigeyo, ran. So it ran, and then past tense of that nigeyota. So bad or wrong, it ran. Nigeyota. So skamaeta akan nigeyota.
捕まえた。あかん、逃げよった。逃げたって。捕まえた。あかん、逃げよった。逃げた。
Nigetate. So niget. So this is from nigetate. So this is representing the toiyu. In other words, you said it ran. Nigetate.
捕まえた。あかん、逃げよった。逃げたって。他のぬいぐるみに移ったんとちゃうか。逃げたって。他のぬいぐるみに移ったんとちゃうか。逃げたって。他の。
Okay, so so another place. Nuigurumi ni utsutta, from utsuru. So to move. Utsuru, to move. Utsutta, so it moved. Tochau ka. So ta nui gurumi, so another stuffed animal. So towards that, so it moved towards another stuffed animal. So let's see. ta no nuigurumi ni utsuttan to chau ka. Maybe it moved to another animal. So the first part of the sentence before the to is it moved to another animal. Let me just get a grammar explanation of this. Makes me wonder if that child translation we did earlier was wrong. So it probably moved to another stuffed animal, didn't it? Or I think it shipped. Okay. So, okay, this is translated as Hoka, okay. To chao ka. The core dialect part. To quotative part are often used in consonant dialect to mean I think or it seems. Chao, a common dialect contraction from inai or chigau, depending on context. But here it functions as a contraction of daro or dewa naika. Dewa naika, meaning right or isn't it? Specifically, chao often stands for chigao, wrong or different in questions, implying isn't it different? Did it change? In this context, tochao combined with ka functions similarly to janai ka or dado, expressing a strong guess or confirmation. So Tano nuigurumi ni utsutan to chao ka. So it moved to another another stuffed animal, I think, or does it not exist in the another stuffed animal? Or I think it's in another stuffed animal, I guess. Something like along those meanings. So let's see. Does he say ta or hako? Okay, so he's saying hoka. Okay, so hoka no nuigurumi ni utsatan to chao ka. So chao can be either to differ or so it could be chigao to differ or nai not. And they're also saying it could also potentially be daro, which might be a good one for this situation, I guess. Hoka no nuigurumi ni utsutan to chao ka. Osanji desu ka? Video no heishin te iu no wa achi. So gozanji. So the go's are obviously an honorific, and then no. So sanji, being aware of. kanji comes from existing. Zanji, knowing, being aware of, noun, or meishi. Okay, so Gozanji desu ka? So, are you aware of that? Video no. Video no hinshu. No, hinshu. Video no hinshu. Editing compilation. So compilation and gather meet. Congregate. So how does a compilation, let's see, knit, plait, braid, twist, editing. Okay, so in other words, as your knitting thread, aka your editing thread, so you're editing a compilation, hence it gets the meaning of video editing in this case. Because this is just editing in general. So hinshu editing. So video no hinshu te you know wa. So so are you aware of, let's see, video editing? So to say video editing, okay, what's she trying to say? So, oh, are you aware of the said video editing? So are you aware of the video editing? See, did you know video editing is... Okay. And then we'll see the rest of the sentence. So, gozanji hinshu.
に映ったんとちゃうか。
Gozanji desu ka? Video hinshu te you know wa.
ご存知ですか？ビデオの編集っていうのはテープを切ったり貼ったりするんじゃないんですのよ。ご存知ですか？ビデオの編集っていうのはテープを
切ったり
貼ったりする。
貼ったりするんじゃないんですのや。So, tape, cutting, and what's that other one? Yeah, tape, like a videotape. Okay, kitari. It's cutting, but I believe when you say it as kitari, it's like listing different activities. Let's see. Hatari, to stick to paste. So cutting and pasting, hatari. And then do. So doing, cutting, and pasting. Not exist. I think this is a casual question. So I think she's saying, are you aware that I do video editing? So are you aware video editing is cutting and pasting, or let's see what it translates. This says, oh, did you know video editing isn't about cutting and pasting, you know? Okay. So video editing, let's see. So it's table or kitari. Yeah, usually when you use the tari, you're implying you're listing actions that aren't related to each other and not necessarily conclusive. So, table kitari, hatari. Let's see, this is from kiru, and this is from haru. Kitari hatari surunjanain. Surunjanain desu no yo. Okay, where did they get the just from? Did you know video editing isn't about cutting and pasting? Oh, isn't or not? Okay, there is no just. It just isn't about it. Okay. Let's see. Explain the grammar of. Do you know? Knowing binaural, yeah. Zonji or go zonji. So the thing called or plus wa, okay. Type used to emphasize or clarification. Let's see. Teipu shitari hatari suru, cutting and pasting tape. Tari and tari suru is a grammatical structure meaning doing like X or and Y, often implying a list of examples. Janine des no yo. It corrects a misconception. The speaker assumes the listener thinks video editing still involves physical tape. But the explanation gives a reason background. No yo at the end adds to emotional emphasis, often using a conversation to stress a point, especially by women. This form is a conversational explanatory, not confrontational. It is meant to inform, not scold. Okay. So it corrects the speakers. So when you say something doesn't exist, you're not saying that it literally doesn't exist. You're saying you're correcting a misunderstanding. Like it's not that. So if it's not, that would be a better translation. So explain Hari in more detail. Tari or tarisu structure in Japanese is used to list non-exhaustive examples of action states or events. It implies doing something like A or among A, okay. Unlike te, which can imply sequence, tari suggests no specific order or repetition, similar to ya or nado. But tari often works with verbs and adjectives and not just nouns. particle. Is this using the past tense? Yes, tari uses the past tense form of the verb, adjectives, nouns, morphologically, but does not necessarily indicate past tense. However, this past tense form is grammatical, not temporal. It's a structural requirement for tari, not a time reference. The actual tense of the sentence is determined by the final to-do verb. So it just basically has the same shape as past tense, but it's not related to past tense in any way. So, テープを切ったり、貼ったりするんじゃないんですのよ。
ビデオの編集っていうのはテープを切ったり貼ったりするんじゃないんですのよ。自分がいいなと切ったり貼ったりするんじゃないんですのよ。自分がいいなと思うシーンをダビングんじゃないんですのよ。自分がいいなのが編集になるんですの。でもご存知ですか？ビデオの編集っていうのはテープを切ったり貼ったり
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? And please stick around for the raid. Okay, we're gonna raid Kanade. The second raid is going to be on Okay, we're gonna raid Wafa-kan, who is learning Japanese. See who else we're gonna raid. Okay. The third raid, we're gonna raid Sergeant Wilkie Plays, who's currently playing Black Ops 7. Minasan, okiyotsukete. Mata ashita. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow.